enough land to do it on, that's for sure.
This is true. This is true.
You guys did a great job out there, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, we'll keep working on it. Keep working on it, keep designing, keep figuring out the next phase.
You gotta be running a study session, how to apply for a TIF. You got it down good.
All the commissioners ready to go?
Ready.
You guys ready? Greg, you guys ready?
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Everybody ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022 Planning Commission meeting to order. Could we get a roll call vote or roll call attendance, please?
Alderperson Denham,
Here.
Commissioner Romine,
Here.
Commissioner Stepp, Vice Chairperson O'Day,
Here.
Commissioner Richards,
Here.
Commissioner Lloyd,
Here.
Commissioner Davis, I'm sorry, Chairperson Davis, Commissioner Groman,
Here?
Commissioner Dieger,
Here.
Commissioner Gore.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. To come up and speak in regards to anything that is not on the regular agenda items that time. Do we have anybody from the public that would like to speak on the public comment section? If we do, please write down your name, your address, and state your name and address into the microphone, and each person will be allowed 5 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Cherry Webster. I live at 118 Country Bluff Drive. In April 2021, the residents of Branson started cleaning house. Milton, Denham, and Cooper were elected as mayor and alderman on a platform of transparency, accountability, and public servanthood. The house cleaning continued last month when 3 more aldermen were replaced. Additionally, the city has seen the planning director, city attorney, city administrator, assistant city administrator leave city employment. This house cleaning needs to continue on with this planning commission. Alderman Denham has been reappointed despite Chairman Davis's objection and request for her replacement. Commissioner Nichols' term expired and he was not reappointed. Tonight we welcome Commissioners Groman, Dieger, and Gore, who hopefully will espouse the same platform as the new alderman, new mayor, and the alderman. The next agenda item is the election of the officers of this commission. Although commissioners are not elected, I would submit that citizens would expect the same platform attributes to be exhibited here as well. That wasn't apparent last year. Tonight, I would request that Rick Davis be neither nominated nor re-elected as chairman. Why? For several reasons. He doesn't have the right temperament. He warmly welcomes to the podium those who share his sentiments for an agenda item, but moves to perfunctory, even strained civility to those who do not. One Branson North resident even noted that Davis berated the comments of residents from his neighborhood and that of Country Bluff, when instead we agreed with Alderman Denham's recommendation for a minimum square foot lot size for single families of 7,500 square feet. Davis doesn't follow established procedures. At the first hearing for the storage units project on Falls Parkway and Blue Meadows, the applicant didn't show up and sent no representative in his stead. There was no motion or second to place the agenda item on the table for discussion. The parliamentary rule was for it to die. Davis chose not to follow that rule. Instead, he forwarded on to the Board of Aldermen for approval. At the February 22nd Board of Aldermen hearing, Davis ignored the rule of waiting to speak on an agenda item when the item comes up for discussion. Instead, he spoke during the public comment period and then exited the building. Davis chose not to follow this rule, despite himself enforcing it at this commission's hearings under his chairmanship. In concert with former Alderman Skane's parliamentary call the question tactic, These two citizen representatives chose to eliminate transparency in the public hearing process for Ruth Denham's defense of Davis's accusations against her. Davis has been dismissive to requests on removal procedures. There has been ample time during the last two P&Z hearings for the acting city attorney to answer my question as to the procedures for how to remove a P&Z chairman from the position of chairman during both a study session and during the public comment period when I asked the question. Neither Chairman Davis nor Vice Chairman Aday would allow the attorney to answer my question publicly, nor would they ask the question themselves of the attorney. At the April hearing, Davis told me to submit my question in writing. Then I was told to return to my seat, twice, instead of permitting the full 5 minutes allotted to public comment. How's that for transparency, accountability, and public servanthood? Personally, I do not believe that Rick Davis can adequately represent the city residents on this board as a commissioner, and certainly not as the chairman. Please consider nominating as chair a commissioner that has a past performance of participating in these hearings. There are several still on the dais tonight that consistently speak only the words, "so moved" or "second." Rarely, if ever, asking questions or explaining why they vote the way they do, which seems to miraculously mimic Davis's votes. I would nominate Commissioner Stepp. Thank you for public comment time.
Anybody else from the public that would like to come up and speak? Seeing none, move on to the next item of the agenda, which is the approval of the Planning Commission minutes for the April 5th, 2022 study session and regular meeting. Chair, Vice Chair, Acting Chair would entertain a motion to approve these minutes.
So moved.
I'll second.
First by Commissioner Romine, second by Commissioner Lloyd. We could do a roll call vote, please, Nikki.
Absolutely. We're having some technical difficulties, so I'm sorry if I come out of order with this roll call.
And actually, hold on a second, further discussion. There's an opportunity for discussion after the motion's been made and seconded. I apologize. Anybody have any comments or discussion? Alderwoman Denham?
Thank you. Yes, thank you for the minutes that we received. I would just ask if in future minutes, if questions are referenced or comments are referenced, if we can just expand on those a little bit. That's all. Thank you. I like the job that everyone's doing. Our staff reports are amazing and thorough, and thank you very much.
I will speak to that. So tonight's minutes are going to be a more robust part from my direction, from staff inside of City Hall. That's the direction we're going. We appreciate the comments, and anytime anybody on the outside, it will no longer be this person asked this question or that person asked that question. It'll be this person did ask the question, and the question was, and how it was received. So we apologize for that, and we're making strides to make it better.
Thank you.
Mike.
I have a
Commissioner
comment.
Groman?
I will be abstaining simply because I was not here for that meeting. I cannot tell whether the minutes were accurate or not. By abstaining, my vote will automatically be whatever the majority votes, but I just want you to know why I'm abstaining. It's not because I'm any political thing, it's just I wasn't here for that meeting, and I'm not going to vote yea or nay on something I wasn't here for.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay, go ahead, Nikki.
Okay. Alderperson Denham,
Yes.
Commissioner Romine,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Richards,
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Groman,
Abstain?
Commissioner Dieger,
Yes.
Commissioner Gore,
Yes.
Motion moved, 8-0.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the election of chairperson and vice chairperson. We don't have a staff report on that, do we, Mike?
We do not have a staff report, but a little bit of housekeeping for you. There's 2 note cards that are there. One will say chairman, one will be vice. Those are what you will vote on and turn in. Nikki will pick those up, as that's how you've done it in the past, so we tried to mimic that for you.
Okay. In the past, typically what is done is a nomination for, typically we do chairperson first, vice chairperson second. Nomination is done verbally, and then after the nomination is done, we do the cards for chairperson, and then once that one's done, we move on to the vice chairperson. That's what we've typically done in the past. Does anybody have any concerns or problems with that direction?
So there's a verbal
Nomination.
motion? Okay,
Verbal nomination, and then the votes are on the cards, is what we've done in the past.
thank you.
Okay. Acting chair would entertain nominations for the chairperson position for the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate Chuck O'Day for the position of chairman.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Romine. I would accept your nomination. Any other nominations?
I
Alderman?
would like to nominate Gary Groman as vice chair.
For what?
Well, we
Chair?
got to do chair first, and then we'll come back and
Oh,
do
I thought
vice
you were
chair.
doing the vice chair first. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
For chair, I nominate Kathy Stepp.
Okay. I assume that she's going to accept because she's not here, so we'll go under the assumption that she's accept that nomination. Any other nominations for the chairperson position? Hearing
Can I
none?
ask a question? Did you ask her? What happens if we vote and she decides she didn't want to do it?
I,
Ruth?
to respond, I asked Kathy Stepp prior. I asked her if I nominated her, if she would accept. She is very willing to accept.
Okay.
All right, thank
Okay.
you. Okay, let's go ahead and place your votes on your card.
Is spelling critical as long as they get the idea?
As long as you get the idea, I think it's great.
Okay, we have 3 votes for Commissioner Stepp, and we have 5 votes for Vice Chair O'Day.
Okay, thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, Chuck.
Okay. Next, we'll move on to the vice chairperson position. At this time, I will accept nominations for vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Kathy Stepp for vice chair.
Thank you. Any other nominations for vice chair? Go ahead,
I'd
Commissioner
like
Richards.
to nominate Commissioner Romine.
Oh, no,
No?
no, no,
Will? No?
no.
Darn it.
Thank you, though.
Any other nominations? No? Okay, let's go ahead and vote, even though
Right.
I don't think there were any write-in candidates, but
It's a unanimous vote for Commissioner Stepp.
all right, thank you. Okay, next item on the regular agenda is discussion of possible changes to meeting times. One thing I do want to bring up prior to really getting into this discussion, I don't know how far we can really go with this discussion because our current bylaws that we have for the Planning and Zoning Commission state that it is held on the first Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. So without adjustments to the bylaws, it's going to be very difficult for us to make any adjustments or changes to the current setup as it relates to our meeting times. Mike, if you have anything you'd like to share with us.
Absolutely, thank you. So we brought this to you to allow you to have the discussion. So we are serving the board. So if you come to a consensus of, hey, we would like this time, we would bring back to you an amended point that you guys would want to go ahead and vote on, then we would take that forward from there. So it's open discussion to start talking about the changes. It was originally going to be on the preliminary and talk about it. It's better to be out in the open, say, hey, we're thinking about changing times. And then if you come to a consensus tonight that says, hey, yes, we think this time, we will write something up and bring it back to you at the next meeting.
Okay. Would anybody like to have any discussion related to the current meeting time, or how would we like to go from here?
Is the reason to make a change consistency across the board, like all meetings are at 6?
That is, we wanted to align with Board of Aldermen, so for our general public, it's not 6:30 this one, and this one actually starts at 7. It'll be 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock all the way across. So again, some of the finance and other committees are able to meet in the middle of the day, but pending your guys' discussion, what you feel important is to the general public, and making sure that the public can attend. So it's also to help with staff time also, so.
Thank you.
With that being said, Mike, your comment there, the public attendance is pretty crucial probably when it comes to planning and zoning, more so than finance or human resource and things like that. So with that being said, evening time meetings are probably more easily attendable than daytime, correct?
Yeah, we would suppose so, so.
So, can I ask a quick question? Okay, so, the aldermen meet at 6?
They do, at
Yeah.
6 p.m., and they start, and then
Yeah.
they're done. Any type of planning session or session like that is scheduled outside of there, and that's what we're trying to mimic.
Can I add more to that? Okay, so there was a time when we did modify for a little while, and that was when Rick Davis was driving back on his work assignment. I don't know whether we went later or earlier or something, but apparently we didn't change the bylaws, but we did modify times earlier or later for his benefit. But adding to what Mike had to say, I think our 7 o'clock, my thoughts on that are I've seen people that represent somebody that's wanting a presentation, an attorney or a planning person or whatever, they have to wait around for us, an extra hour or two after their normal work schedule. Our staff has to wait around for us to have our later meeting. So I'm personally in favor of the meeting up with the alderman's time at 6 o'clock. That's kind of what I would go for.
Commissioner Groman?
I'd like to see us go to a 6 o'clock meeting, number one, so we're consistent. Number two, so the public can participate. And number three, for our staff, particularly you guys, all the stuff you folks have to go to. You're here this Tuesday, you're gonna be here next Tuesday. I just think it's a good fit all the way around, modifying it.
Any other questions or comments?
So, Mike, are you saying that the study session would be at 5:30 and the meeting start at 6? Or are we saying that similar to the Alderman, the study session would be separate?
That's correct. We're saying that the study sessions, if you needed them, they would be separate of that, and we would go that route. So it would effectively be extinguishing it. All we're asking for is that you give a motion to direct us to change it, if you choose to change it. If not, the discussion was healthy, and we appreciate the time, so.
I'm not 100% sure, maybe the attorney can answer this. I don't know that we can make a motion in regards to recommending changes or anything right now. I mean, we would have to actually make a motion to adjust the bylaws for us to be able to change anything. We can make a
Okay, so you
recommend-
could ask us to bring it back
Correct.
on the next, is
Correct.
that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so you could add,
There could be a motion to direct them to make a change, then we're gonna have a second vote at a later meeting
Right.
adopting that change.
we would have to have a motion for you guys to ask us to rewrite it, correct?
Yes.
And then we would bring that to you, and then you would motion on, yes, I
Okay.
agree.
Okay.
So are we gonna make a motion to adjust our bylaws to start at six? I mean, can we do that? There are bylaws. That starts with us, right? We'd have to make the motion. There are bylaws.
And again, I think that you could make a motion directing for the change that they're gonna make to be proposed, and then make a motion to adopt that change to the bylaws at the second,
At the next meeting.
if that makes sense.
So what
Yeah.
do we do tonight to make that happen? That's all I wanna
I think
know.
there needs to be a motion directing staff to create a proposal to change the meeting time.
I move that.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All right, so we got the first by Commissioner Groman, second by Commissioner Gore, correct? Okay. Nikki, any further discussion on that? Anybody have any additional comments? Okay, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Just one moment.
And just to clarify, the motion is to direct city staff to come back at the next meeting with a proposed time adjustment in the bylaws.
Okay. Alderperson Denham,
Yes.
Commissioner Romine,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Richards,
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Groman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dieger,
Yes.
and Commissioner Gore.
Yes.
Motion carried, 8-0.
All right, thank you. Okay, next item is the first item on the public hearing, request for preliminary subdivision plat for Stone Valley Estates subdivision. As with what we've been doing in the past, I would need a motion and a second to bring this on the table before we receive staff report or anything associated.
Excuse, newly elected Chairperson O'Day, I'm going to have to recuse myself from this vote. I will be down there representing
Okay.
on this.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Richards.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Phillips. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Commissioner Gromine, or not Groman, sorry, sorry, Gary. Commissioner Groman. All right, Mike, please take off with the staff report.
Andrew, you can have a staff report real quick. Or presentation,
Sorry, Gary. Sorry, Brenda.
not that one. There we go, perfect.
It's on there, buddy.
Yeah, sure it is. Some reason, everything gets recorded.
All right, so.
I will.
This is 108 Rock Ridge Road. A subdivision application has been received from Greg Richards of LGR Design Drafting on behalf of Stone Valley Development LLC for a preliminary subdivision plat for Stone Valley Estates in Branson, Missouri. The property is located north of Lake Hills Drive, west of Branson Hills Parkway and south of Branson Recplex. The portion of the Stone Valley Estates property includes, and this request is in a planned development, is currently undeveloped and contains roughly 1.92 acres more or less. These are some pictures of, I want to say 3 weeks ago, of the actual property. They're working on redoing some sewer lines there, so you see some parts of that. So the planned development is number 05007, and we have some stuff to go over that here in a second. So, and with how we're doing the new style to it, Google Earth will get you from downtown Branson area. You would pass Home Depot, Target area, and you'll see that rectangle there, and we're gonna swoop in a little bit farther. It's up on the ridge there. As we had talked about before, we wanted to bring forward to you the postcards that go out to the residents that are near this. We would like to note that it shows May 24th is for Board of Aldermen. Their second read would, with a pass at the 24th, would be June 14th with the Board of Aldermen. Any questions that have been brought up by the public are brought into our office, and at this time we've had no questions or concerns. This section here is 94-8. It was included in your packet, and basically it talks about preliminary plat review and approval and all the steps that what you're considering as you go through there. I can hit some of the highlights of it, or we can say we read through them, but probably the biggest highlights for this one would be approval of appropriate utilities, including water and sewer, driveways, roadways, so on and so forth, and that infrastructure is already there. Open space dedication was another big piece to this one. So more specifically, the applicant was asking for 11 lots, with 2 lots dedicated to open space. Based on 9 proposed residential units, a rate of 3 person per unit, the subdivision is required to at least provide 0.54 acres of open space. So that either goes straight to the Parks Department, or they can do a 50-50 split. The applicant chose to do the split. While the applicant has proposed approximately 0.3 acres to public space, they can only take 0.27, which would be half of that. They have elected to pay the other 0.27 acres as proposed payment to the park board. Therefore, mathematically, $4,050 at final plat will be due to the park board. We tried to take that to the park board. They did not have a quorum, so we're asking that you approve this based on that they will get approval that way. Here's the aerial with utilities, something you're used to seeing. You notice there's no water on it because we do not own the water that's up there. Next is current zoning. It shows a PD. The outline is in purple. Future zoning, it would stay a PD. Zoning is not at stake. Existing land use, it's vacant land right now, as you remember from the pictures. This is a preliminary subdivision plat. If you look in your packets, we provided a full-size plat for you so you can read all the details that are in there. It's gone through review through our departments, and it is meeting the regulations and code right now to go forward. So with your approval, we'll start to move that forward with proper signatures, so on and so forth. They're showing the lots from the east to the west side, and the open space is all the way to your west side. I threw this in there. I pulled up the PD just because it's kind of one of those things I think is better for transparency of what's happening in a PD. We have many PDs here. So the PD on this one says 15 to 25 foot setbacks for residential uses on local public and residential streets measured from the right of way. The lot sizes for this PD are 5,000 square feet, and as you see from your plots that are in front of you, I think the smallest one's 6,000 and some change, so they definitely met that requirement. This is the exhibit from the original PD that's there. You're gonna see 2 arrows that are there. One of the arrows is showing the use there, or what they intended for it to be, and it's a, what color are we gonna call it today? Pink? Fuchsia? There we go. Well,
I think we're going with coral.
Coral. So anyways, and that would give you your families. The multifamily uses in parcel 3 are listed here, and they have lots of different choices to do there. So with this piece going through, These are all the choices that they would not have to come back through on. So clubhouse, they basically designed it that they could build anything that they wanted there. This is a PD. This is not the people that are bringing the Plats in. The orthometric views from the north to the south, if we need them going forward, east and west. Preliminary subdivision plat, it's included in the community plan 2030. This is where it's the light use, which is the medium density residential. So the red circle that's there with the arrow is showing you where you're in on that, so we bring that in and out. What's the benefit is providing additional housing options to the general public. Staff recommends approval. We are happy to answer any questions that you may have. And the applicant is here too.
Thanks, Mike. Go ahead and please state your name and address, if you don't mind.
Yes, my name is Greg Richards, 1015 State Highway 248, Suite E. Branson is where my business is, and I am representing the developer buyer of these lots. So definitely happy to answer any questions or any concerns or anything you guys may have.
Can you give us a little more insight on the project, Greg?
Sure. What they're gonna do is, like Mike was saying, average 6,000, 7,000 square foot for the lots. They're gonna do like, the square foot of the houses are gonna be slab on grade, about a little over 1,500 square feet, 2-car garage, covered patio in the back. Sale price probably be somewhere around $310. I think it'll be a great thing for the city. 9 more nice houses back in an already developed subdivision, Stone Valley. And like we've seen and talked about, that it's been in a PD for quite a while. So it'll be 9 single-family homes, all slab on grade.
Any of the commissioners have any questions for Mr. Richards?
I have a question.
Commissioner Groman?
When I went out and looked at that property Saturday, there's that big rock wall behind it. How does that enter into what people are gonna be seeing, if there's gonna have to be any blasting in connection with this? I'm just curious, because you got houses right across the street, and then right over the top of that hill, you got another row of houses on the street that's over.
So all of the blasting's already been done. That's what created that wall. So there will be no more blasting in there for these 9 lots.
Okay, so they'll build, and that's okay, that's fine.
They're gonna, like promote like climbing rock wall. No, I don't know.
No, I just wanna make sure that then there's no concern, the residents that are there don't have to be concerned about future blasting.
No, sir.
Great.
No. It's a great question.
Alderperson Denham?
I just wanted to clarify with the map that was put up earlier, the zoning map for that PD, is that the exact location of where your project is?
Like we were discussing, I think I'm a little confused too. I'm not sure, but that is yeah, let's bring that back up. That's, back right there, yeah. That seems a little far north from where we're discussing, or is it just that the PD, is that just an old? Because I believe we're down. I don't know, I'm kind of confused by that particular piece myself, not sure. But we have all documents and everything as far as, plating and.
Correct. However, the reason I'm asking is specifically because if where the arrow's pointing to on this presentation, that would be parcel 3. I believe that if it is in the location that you had mentioned to me earlier, it might be in a different parcel. So that's why I just wanted to get some clarification on the location.
I believe they'd have to answer that. I'm not the one that put together that presentation, correct? I believe the staff put together that presentation, not me.
Staff said that that was the location, the correct location in the coral-colored zoned area, but you had mentioned earlier that you believe it's more south on this property, so I just wanted to get clarification on that.
Yeah, I really don't understand.
We can do further investigation. I'll have ArcGIS pulled up and overlay it on top of each other. This is definitely stretched and definitely is old. The question would be, what would it make it if it was more south, would make it commercial? So commercial uses, we believe that it's a multifamily use is what was the intention. So it's a wider range of uses. I hope not. Okay.
Yeah, I can clarify this. If it's not a big deal, you can actually pull up that zoning map on the Branson Gov website, which will show exactly where we're discussing, show the zoning areas, the color, and the PD. If you want to bring that up, because this one's old. So if you want to bring up your most current zoning map, then that would clarify your question, I would say.
He's going to work on that right now.
Okay.
While we're waiting on that, is there any other questions from any of the other commissioners? No? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, while we're waiting on that.
Commissioner
Mike,
Lloyd?
I was talking with a couple of the other commissioners. I sometimes, and I've asked more than once to help us locate where some of these properties are. Sometimes you give us a little bullet hole, and I need to know the bigger spot of where we're actually talking about is.
Okay,
So,
so,
let's see what we got here.
yeah, he's got control of the screen, so. This is just showing it that it's a PD, it's referring you back to the PD. So that's the zoning that's there, is that it goes back to the PD.
So where's the recplex on there? That's my point of, it's up there, right?
Yep.
Right.
Up.
That helps me.
So,
There
right,
you go.
oh, there it
Yeah.
was, but this will keep overlaying on top of it, because that, if you turn off the zoning, you'll be able to see the recplex. And I'm sorry, I went too fast on the Google Earth, so.
We can't turn it off on this particular.
Okay, sorry. The capabilities, each computer is a little different, so. We definitely know it's in a PD. I can definitely bring you back. It would be commercial versus multifamily. It's the options I see.
Go ahead.
Well, it's legally described on the preliminary plat, so the legal description should show us exactly where this parcel's located. So in order to make an educated decision, we need to know where the legally described property is. I mean, I know that you probably ran that, but
Right. They ran the legal
Mr.
description.
Richards said
right.
that he felt that it was not at that location. So just for all of us on this board to have clarification, we'd need to know exactly where the property is, because the land use regulations and the plan development tell us what can and cannot take place on that piece of property. So it is important that we have specific information. And just looking at, we just got the
Let's try to work
plat
through it
tonight.
together real quick. If
That'd be
we
great.
have the
Thank
time,
you.
right? So,
Thank you, thank you.
I'll let you into how I think we could work through it. So that's a double entrance there, correct? To the
Yes.
golf course community. If you bring up the other one, we should be able to find a double entrance pretty easily. Oh, Miss Tara's gonna come save me. So this is. That one. So if we're looking here,
Just circling the arrow way off.
double entrance.
No.
Mike, I had to put his cursor on where it is. That's it.
Yeah.
That's Rock Ridge Road.
So we're assuming that the map was cut wrong and we were. I can bring it back.
I don't think the map's cut wrong. I think it's the angle of the map and the fact that it's way south.
I agree.
I don't know how to fix this on the fly. Because this is the map from the actual PD that we gave out, so we didn't alter that at all.
I got an idea. Why don't we just pull up Beacon? Click on it. That'll show that property exactly what's going on and who the owner
It'll
is.
show PD, because we showed the uses that PD is.
So, yeah, as long as we know what parcel it's in, because
That's-
we got this a little bit late to look at. And I'm just trying to figure out exactly where it is, because if the parcels are the same, that's great. But if the parcels are different, whether they're less stringent or more stringent doesn't really matter. We just need to know which parcel we're looking at.
I suggest you just bring up Branson Beacon, no overlay on it, zoom in on that piece, and we can compare and you'll see.
So it's supposed to be just west of that current house.
There's Stone Valley Stone Valley Estates, Rock Ridge Road is right here. So it is,
Give him the pointer.
what, okay, so this is it right here. On this map here, it's right down here. So this here is way the heck off. That's above the recplex. That's where that new hospital thing is going in, or supposed to be going in. It's down here.
Which is in the
Okay.
proper zoning.
Thank you, yes.
It's an honest mistake.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were looking at the correct place.
So,
Thank you.
With that being said, on the record, it is a commercial piece of property now with commercial standards. And I'll bring that back to Board of Aldermen, that commercial uses are allowed in that subdivision.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good team effort. All right, any other questions from any of the commissioners? No. Okay, are there any public comment? Anybody from the public that would like to speak on this item? Hearing none? You guys ready over there to take a vote? Roll call vote, please, Nikki.
Okay. Alderperson Denham,
Yes.
Commissioner Romine,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Richards, Commissioner Lloyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Groman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dieger,
Yes.
Commissioner Gore.
Yes?
Motion carried, 8-0.
Thank you.
Quick question, Mr. Chairman, sir. Mike, you might help our three new members. What we're doing is that tell them if we're doing the final, or if we're just recommending this to the alderman.
You are recommending a preliminary plat, not a final. So normally you would have a piece of ag land, or piece of land and you're gonna develop a subdivision. So you would say, I'm gonna put in this infrastructure, these roads, these lights, sewer, water, so on and so forth, and this is what I'm headed towards. Then you go ahead and you build that infrastructure, you turn on your final plat, that's the actual platted parts of that back end, and then there will be a final plat. But this is just gonna be a little bit faster because the roads were already in, the sewer was already in, it just went defunct before it ever went to final plat. So it's a long-lived PD that, it was a dream of one way and has gone another. So again, I apologize for there.
That's okay. Thanks, Mike.
Excuse me, Chairman.
Yes, please.
Just a correction, the vote was 7-0 because he,
Yes, you are correct, 7-0.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Alderperson Denham. Okay, the next item on the agenda is for public hearing, request for a street vacation for a portion of Damview Road located in the Table Rock Town Site Subdivision, Branson, Missouri. For us to get this brought on the table, I would need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Lloyd made the motion.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Richards. Staff report.
A quick staff report on this. The street vacation was received, and we had some difficulty getting American Water easement for it. Staff is recommending that we postpone this to the June 7th meeting so we can get all the proper alignment for documentation before we present to you. So we apologize for that, but we did want to still bring it up to you because we did advertise it, and in case there was anybody from the public that had already gotten the note cards, so they had a chance to speak, and we can go into depth if we need to, if anybody's from the public to speak about that. So.
Thanks, Mike. Is there anybody from the public that's here to speak on this? Hearing none, I would accept a motion to postpone by any of the commissioners.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Gore.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Romine. Roll call vote, please.
Okay, I do apologize. We're having technical difficulties, so I may be out of order. Commissioner Richards?
Yes.
Alderperson Denham?
Yes.
Commissioner Romine?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson O'Day?
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Groman?
Yes?
Commissioner Dieger?
Yes.
Commissioner Gore?
Yes.
Motion carried, 8-0.
Thank you. I got a question for the attorney real quick. I think we might have messed that up a little bit. We made a motion to bring it on the table, and then there was a motion to postpone. Is that correct?
I think you're fine, yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is reports. Mike, I believe you have something for us.
Yes, Andrew, go ahead and load the next one. Perfect. So I'm happy to announce that we got some training done in our department. We have lots of things going on. One of our inspectors passed his IBC code, which is exciting. Also, we had a bunch of people go to State Emergency Management Agency training. I was lucky to go to that event with them. It's called the Missouri Structural Analysis and Visual Evaluation, or SAFE program. If you're looking at that picture very carefully, it should look very familiar. So that's our landing that's there. So a little bit about this program. They take engineers, building officials, so on and so forth. They train them to make sure that when the worst happens, if it's a tornado, if it's an earthquake that we've heard about in the news, they can rely on other people in the state to come and provide service. Imagine if you had 50 or 60 or 70 or 100 or 1,000 houses that you need to inspect. There is no way that the staff department could do that. So if something like that happens, we would reach out. So a little bit about this, they talked about their deployments. So they were in Jefferson City, Cole County, and here we have Branson for 2012. So we're happy to continue to make sure that we have the proper staff that's here and also provide help for our neighbors as in Joplin. So this picture here is the landing that's on the front. These guys should look familiar to you. So one guy is Roy and the other guy is Randy back there. So you can see all the blown out windows from times past, but I'm excited to say, I'm gonna go over who was there. So we had new members and some current members, and it was in April. Kirby went, Austin went, Keith from Public Works and myself are our new members to that. Roy renewed his test and was successful. Danny and Randy are existing. So it's extraordinary to have a staff that's as thick as 7 different members, and it's a big win for the community. So as we're developing and growing, we may go out and help another one, and this is another organization that we can lean on. So I was just wanting to bring some happy news from our department and a little bit of a staff review. So
Thanks, Mike. Anybody have any questions? That's awesome. Congratulations.
Good job.
That's fantastic. Okay, are there any reports from any of the commissioners? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
First by Commissioner Groman, second by Commissioner Romine. Roll call vote.
Roll call vote. Commissioner Richards?
Yes.
Alderperson Denham?
Yes.
Commissioner Romine?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson O'Day?
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Groman?
Yes.
Commissioner Dieger?
Yes.
And Commissioner Gore?
Yes.
Motion approved, 8-0.
Thank you. See y'all soon.